Today you will be completing a virtual lab that is very appropriate for Halloween. This is the Murder and Meal Lab. So the idea is that there has been a murder in Douglas, and you have been tasked with helping solve the mystery. The purpose of this lab is to introduce you to the different molecules found in your food and for you to practice analyzing data and writing conclusions using the claim, evidence, and reasoning format. So first we need to talk about some of the molecules that are found in our food. The first type of molecule found in our food are carbohydrates. Some of the sources of carbohydrates in our diet include things like sugars, so sugary foods like candy and corn syrup are all carbohydrates. But then you also have complex carbs, which are starchy foods like bread, potatoes, pasta, and cereals. The next type of molecule that you need to know for this lab is fats. Another word for fats are lipids. Fats are found in a lot of different foods. They're found in butter. They are found in oils. Many meats have a lot of fat in them, like beef and fish can have a lot of fat in it. Egg yolks have a lot of fat, and nuts, olives, avocados, and seeds also contain a lot of fat oil. And the last type of molecule you need to know about to do this activity is protein. Protein is found in meat, lots of meat, like fish, chicken, steak. Nuts and seeds also contain a lot of protein. Dairy products contain a lot of protein and some fat too. The white of the eggs also contains a lot of protein. So here is the background for the lab. So a murder has occurred right here in our peaceful little town of Douglas, Massachusetts. As top-notch biology students at Douglas High School, you've been asked to assist in the investigation of this most unfortunate incident. Central to identifying the individual who committed this crime is establishing where the victim was the day of the crime so that detectives can question the individuals with whom the victim came into contact. An autopsy was performed on the victim has revealed that the victim ate just prior to the time of death. Upon questioning the victim's friends and family, detectives working the case have learned that the victim enjoyed eating at the following places and always ordered the same thing off the menu. The forensic pathologist has removed the contents of the victim's stomach for you to analyze in order to determine where the victim had his last meal. The first thing you're going to do is, for each restaurant and meal, you're going to make predictions as to which food molecules you would expect the forensic pathologist to find if the victim ate at that restaurant. You're going to think about the different ingredients that are in the meal, and remember the victim only ate one thing from each of these restaurants. So you're going to read the ingredients, and then you are going to change the text in this table to bold if you think that these food molecules are present in the meal. In the reasoning, you're going to explain which ingredients in the meal provide these food molecules. So the first restaurant is Douglas House of Pizza. The victim would never eat thin crust pizza from anywhere else. The victim would typically order a pizza with sausage, pepperoni, and bacon. So which of these molecules do you think you would get from that pizza? And think about what ingredients, the dough, the sauce, the cheese, the meat, would provide these different molecules. The next restaurant is Buffalo Wild Wings. And at Buffalo Wild Wings, the victim would eat honey barbecue chicken wings and celery. And the third restaurant is Avanti's Ristorante. The victim loved to go here for a night of bread and pasta tossed with just a little bit of olive oil. So no sauce, just pasta and olive oil and bread. In order to test for these molecules, we use chemicals called indicators. Indicators change colors in the presence of the molecules for which they test. And we're going to look at the procedures for 4 different tests. We have the Benedict's test, which tests for sugar, the iodine test, which tests for starch, the Biarritz test, which tests for proteins, and finally the paper bag test, which is a test for fat. In experiments where we test for the presence or absence of certain molecules, we need to use positive and negative controls for comparison. To make our positive control, we will run the indicator test for the different food molecules on foods known to contain the molecules. Positive controls show us the expected results if the food molecules we are testing for are present in the murder victim's stomach. And then to make our negative control, we'll run the indicator test again on different food molecules, on foods that are known to lack the different food molecules. Negative controls show the results if the molecules we are testing for are absent in the murder victim's stomach. So in order to see the positive and negative results for each test and make your positive and negative controls, you're going to click on this link for the video. And what you're going to do is you're going to watch the procedure for each test, and you're going to record the color change for each control. So the positive control, something that we know for sure has sugar or starch or protein, and something that we know for sure does not have sugar. So that way we can compare these to whatever is in the stomach in order to determine whether that food molecule was present or not present. I include the time for each test in the video, so that way if you need to go back and rewatch a video, you can just skip ahead to the times that are listed here. You're going to do this for all 4 tests. And then you're going to read the results. So, the forensic pathologist completed all 4 tests on the victim's stomach contents. The table below shows the results. You're going to compare these observations to the positive and negative controls. If the food molecule was present in the stomach, you're going to type yes in the food present column. If you determine that the food molecule was not found in the stomach, you're going to type no. And then there are 5 questions for you to answer. This is an outline for a CER paragraph. You don't have to write a paragraph for each one, just a few sentences, but the idea is that this, if we were to write a paragraph, your paragraph would have to include all of these different things. This is practice making a CER. So the first thing you need is a claim. And your claim is answering the question, where did the victim eat his last meal? Evidence, there are 2 parts to the evidence. You're going to describe the molecules that were present in the victim's stomach, and then in question 4, you're going to describe the molecules that were not present in the stomach. And then for the reasoning, you're going to describe how this evidence supports your claim. So you're going to talk about the ingredients in the meal from the restaurant and what ingredients contain the food molecules that tested positive in the stomach. And then at the very end, for the molecules that were not present, you're going to explain how the absence of those molecules eliminates those 2 other restaurants. So think about again, the ingredients of the meals in those restaurants and explain how not having um, certain food molecules can eliminate those from your options. If you have any questions at all on this assignment, please send me an email.